What up, what up, what up? It's your boy V Kush Beats, GTS Movement. Me and T Custom here today. We're going to talk about some social media stuff and how you should be posting on these platforms. What's going to get you some more engagement and get you some more sales when it comes to your music production business. Want to introduce yourself? Let's get it.
What's up, guys? Travis with T Customs Productions. We just want to get into hopefully touch on some new stuff, maybe new changes to the platform or new strategies that might be working for us. It all comes down to engagement on social media. It's always about community and building that. So just some tips that hopefully can help you build more of a conversation, dialogue, can help you to foster relationships, make more sales, that sort of thing.
Cool. All right. So obviously we already know the main platforms we're probably going to talk about today are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm going to start with Instagram because that's what I've been using lately. And that's what I've been getting results with when it comes to my account. I actually started a new account yesterday just like specifically for this hangout. And just as I was actually testing to see the results I was getting on one page that I had already grown a kind of a following on to see if it translated to a brand new page, and it does. So what I've been doing is basically I'll let me see if I can share my screen real quick and we can kind of just run through it and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so basically this is what I've been doing. So this is a brand new page I started last night. So I only got 6 posts up here, 30 followers. I'm following 51 people. Now, if you look at my posts, they're pretty much basically quotes that I made on my own using I want to say Fonto, which is like just an app on my phone. And if I click on this, you'll see what I'm doing. So it's just like this quote. He said he had bars. Now I'm sitting here listening to this mumble mouth fuckboy spitting gibberish in my studio. Whatever happened to the MC? Now, this is obviously directed at producers and it's directed at artists who actually have bars. So the question I have on my on the actual post is, are there any dope MCs out there? The key to this whole thing working is right here. In the comment section, I put all my hashtags in the comment section. I had a marketing friend who had told me to start doing this. And she said she didn't know why, but she said she was always getting more engagement when she posted her comments or posted her hashtags in the comments instead of on the actual post when she first uploaded. What we just figured out was the reason why it works is because first of all, it makes it look a whole lot cleaner when you actually post your photo up on Instagram, and when it's in the hashtag, when the hashtags are in the comments, it creates more engagement. It pulls more people in, and it gives you a broader audience because it's in the comment section, not in your actual post. So that's why I do it. That's why it works, I should say. I've done this with this. Like I said, this is from last night, and I did the same thing, same hashtags, 74 likes. They're all doing the same thing. But the key is I've been getting leads doing this on my other pages that I've built up. Like from this page last night, I got 4 artists to opt in to get free beats. If you look at my my bio, it's basically this: music producer, soul sample recycler, producerpreneur. Do you have bars? Get your free beats, a free beat pack here. So the key to this whole thing working is the content has to be kind of engaging. It has to speak to a specific type of audience. And like I said, those hashtags are pulling in the people that I want to speak to, and it's working. Like for you, I would say if you're a producer and you're looking to attract artists, start using hashtags that have to deal with things that artists are talking about, things that artists are using. There's actually a website that I go to I think it's called tophashtags.com. And you just type in rapper and it'll pull up all the hashtags that have to do with rappers or hip hop and things of that nature. I tend to pick anything that's above 1,000 likes already. And then I just make a list of them and copy them to a memo. And every time I upload a new photo, I put those same hashtags in here. And like I said, it's been getting me results. It's been getting me leads. And once I get those artists into my email address, they go through my funnel. So they're going to see the Tripwire page. They're going to go through all of that stuff. And if they don't buy through that, over time, just me sending emails out and me putting out content and getting them back to my blog, I'm making more sales that way. And it's really simple, man. With Instagram, I just like Instagram, and for the simple fact that it's so easy to do. I know a lot of producers that post beat videos. They get a lot of engagement. I don't know, like for me personally, I don't know. I haven't gotten many leads from beat videos, but I'm sure a lot of producers are. But what I've seen is like when you post beat videos, you tend to attract a lot of other producers, not so much MCs. I don't know, Travis, have you had any success with?
Yeah, it works. It's for me, at least for my audience, it seems to be more producers. But again, you got to keep in mind with my brand and whatever it is for producers. I mean, as far as sound kits and those type of things, as far as products for them. But it is primarily, but I think that's because that's how it all initially started with tutorials, and I kind of built that following early on. But what's funny enough, there is a good portion of artists that do watch the videos, artists that have watched beat making videos that say beats that are only available in my club members area. Because like for the first 30 days now, all my new beats, they only go to my subscribers to that. So they've asked, I've had several artists that watch the beat videos and ask, hey, is this beat available? Whatever. So I thought that too, that it was only, it is still primarily producers, I would say, but there still is, artists want to see engaging stuff too, whether they're just looking for instrumentals, they like to see the creation process as well. I think you have to figure out what works for you, whether it's posting caption images or other types of stuff. I mean, I can't say there's a one size fits all, and I won't. I'll just tell you what, Brian, you tell people what works for you. I'll tell people what works for me. I mean, as far as my Instagram, if I do a share screen on that, and this is my primary one. I know, Brian, you've been experimenting with some different ones, but this is my primary T Customs Instagram account, and you'll see a variety of content. Some of these are videos, some of these are pictures. You'll see me. These are snippets from beat videos. These are testimonials and captions. I've got instrumentals, so these are just snippets of instrumentals that are actually playing through here. And I'll show on Facebook and stuff too. I'm using a lot of the same content. I'm just kind of distributing it a little bit differently according to the platform, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. And so it's a combination of things. Memes, it's instrumentals. Here's some testimonials from some clients, working on beats. At the end of the day, I would say I'm not an Instagram guru, because Instagram is one of those platforms. It's a relatively newer platform, but I will say for what I do, and as long as I'm somewhat consistent, I try to post at least once a day, because again, it's not a primary platform for me. But if at very minimum, like 5 times a week, so maybe sometimes it's every other day or whatever, but getting something up new, and I just try to switch it up. I don't stick to any one formula. I try to switch it up. If I find something is working, then I will maybe test more of that in the days or the weeks going forward. But I am still a proponent of, and I've talked about this before, is just the link rotation. And so if I'm putting up a beat video, a snippet of that, I know that Instagram is mobile first. People are not on Instagram on their desktop computer. I was just on there. You can go on the site, but nobody's actually utilizing it as it's supposed to be, with comments and the whole engagement thing on a desktop. So you got to think with that platform in particular, it is mobile first. And pretty much, really moving forward, everything is mobile first. You can look at it like that, but Instagram was intended to be mobile. It was just intended for you to snap pictures directly from your phone and upload it. So anytime I put a link in my bio, it could go to an opt-in page, but in particular, if I do a snippet of a beat video, I'll just put a YouTube link that goes to an extended version of that video. So it's just a way that they can easily go click on the YouTube link. It's going to natively open in their Android YouTube app or iPhone YouTube app. And I know there's not going to be any issues with compatibility. I mean, hopefully by this point you have mobile-friendly opt-in pages, and so that's not even an issue, or wherever other your mobile-friendly websites. But I'm big on that. I'm going to test out, because like I said, I'm taking notes. I'm learning too. So as far as putting the hashtags in the comment, that to be something that I tried new that I haven't done before. But I am, like I said, I'm switching out that link, whether it's a link to my opt-in page, whatever my most recent video is, website, whatever's relevant to that particular post, and I just kind of keep that moving. Sometimes I'll even link back to my Facebook page, so that's a way to siphon traffic if you're trying to take people from whatever platform they're on, take them somewhere else. So you can do that from time to time, maybe even throw in a SoundCloud link every now and then in your bio and send them there. Maybe somebody's been following you on Instagram for a year or so, but they've never been to your SoundCloud or never been to your Facebook. So that's kind of a way you can mix things up. I try to throw variety in there. That's really what I stick to for the most part.
I know for me, what I've been doing since I have multiple pages, my regular VCush Beats page is kind of like yours is. It's got like it's just a mismatch of like a bunch of different stuff, because I'm always changing those links out. But I also have another account that's basically like, it's just like quotes, and like it's pretty, everything looks pretty much exactly the same. It's a black background with some type of quote on it that has to do with music. And what I've been seeing is that like people come to that page specifically for that reason. Like some tip that I'm putting on that page, or some quote that's going to be some type of something inspirational for a musician or for a producer, and they come to that page specifically for that reason. And most of my call to actions on that page are for them to get some type of tip or some type of PDF or ebook download. So on that page, the people are opting into that page. They're looking for how to get to the next level with whatever it is they're going to be, a producer or an artist. My other page is basically like beats and drum kits, stuff like that. So I kind of separated them just to see what was going to work more and what type of artists or producers I can get on that list to market to. So I would say for most producers, we tend to put like beats all on our page and stuff like that. Beats and photos are cool as long as you got that mismatch and you're switching those links out. But sometimes you may want to just create a separate page to kind of see like if you can engage people in a different way, just to see the difference of artists that you can get to opt into your list. Because a lot of times some people are just looking for beats, but if you can get people that are looking to get to the next level, because I know for me and Travis, there's the selling beats part, and then there's the part of us that wants to get our career somewhere else. And sometimes the people who are just looking for free beats or looking for new beats aren't the same person that's trying to get to the next level, which is why I kind of separate them. Because I know somebody wants to learn about how to push their career forward. They may not be looking for beats specifically at that time, but they're trying to get somewhere else. Whereas free beats are free beats. Everybody wants free beats. You know what I mean? So I just kind of keep it separate just to see who wants to go where, and see who I can build with on that level. Because like a lot of people aren't getting shows, but I know if somebody's trying to get shows, they may be trying to get a consultation and maybe trying to figure out how to get their website together. And just because they want free beats doesn't mean they want to get, learn how to get to the next level. But somebody who's actually actively seeking out ebooks on how to market themselves, it may help you in another aspect to help you create another form of income with your Instagram account or whatever platform you're using. So that's why I separate those two accounts.
Yeah, and I would say like you mentioned, I've seen accounts that just do like the quote, just do like a similar style post every single time, but they have like 1 million+ followers, and there's certain accounts that style, that approach works for. And then there's other Instagram accounts I've seen from producers that only upload instrumentals, and so Some of them do okay, some of them don't. A lot of that comes down to branding and stuff. But if the artists that are following that particular account are expecting new instrumentals on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or whatever, and that's what they come to expect, then I'm not saying then that can work.
Yep.
So I think it can work either way. You could stick to one regular, whatever formula you figured out for that, or you could just kind of mix it up. And it keeps it like for me, because I'm not even a big fan of it, it seems like one of those extra platforms that I know I need to reach people on, but it's not one that I'm really enthused about too much. It keeps it interesting for me just to have variety. So I put a picture, it just keeps things interesting for me, actually managing the account. But I think either can work. You do have to test it out. And I haven't actually done the testing where I've created a new account and tested it out. But if you want to kind of keep those results separate and really get a true representation on this account, what kind of results you're getting here versus on your other, I mean, you could definitely branch off and do that. But you could test, you can do any of the stuff that we're talking about, but you can just test it out and see what gets the best results for you. But definitely keep in mind the hyperlink. I know I've said it like 1,000 times in past videos, but I think it's still a big deal, because there's no way, unless you're running an ad on Instagram, that's the only way that you can link out directly. If you put a link in the post, nobody can click on that. Nobody's going to go to that. So that's always been, like, I guess my go-to tip for Instagram as far as getting people out of the platform.
Yep, definitely put that hyperlink in your bio. And I guess that's pretty much it. I will say this: when it comes to Instagram, like, Instagram is for you to post pictures and videos. Nobody wants to see ads on Instagram. So I got 2 free beats in my bio. Like, nobody wants to see that shit. Like, it's like the worst. It's basically you want to show lifestyle. You want to show what you're doing right now, stuff like that. But like, try and stay as far away from advertising as you can, because your beats are the advertisement if you're shooting the video up. You know what I mean? If they're going to go to your bio, they're going to go to your bio.
And at the end of it all, you could take that as gospel or whatever, but the results are going to let you know what's working or not. You can always use that as a way to gauge whether what you're doing is right or not. So if you do post up kind of like ad-looking pictures and it seems like there's less engagement on those than when you post a video of you playing an instrument or working on a track or just an instrumental or a quote or whatever, then you post that enough, you should be able to analyze that data and say, okay, maybe I need to change this up, make this a little more interactive. You could turn a picture into a video. You can do like animated stuff that might spice up. If you do want to put out an ad, maybe you're running a sale, turn that picture into a video. That was a tip that I gave to one of my clients I was helping with Facebook ads. She was sending me really awesome promotional pictures, like that would be great for Instagram or Facebook for an upcoming show that she had. And I was like, these would be even 10 times better if you turn these pictures into it can be just something simple, but some sort of animation in here. So it will autoplay in Instagram. It will draw more engagement, but at the end of the day, you got to test it out. And if you see that the ads, the salesy type of promo pictures and videos aren't working as well, they probably won't. Then you need to be smart about how to evaluate that and fix that moving forward.
All right, man, I'm good. That's for Instagram. I'm pretty much good on that. If you want to flip it to something else,
yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, I got some stuff written down for Facebook. Some of it maybe. I mean, most of it I think is new. I mean, Facebook Live is a big, relatively new. I mean, it's been out for a while, but it was only available to like celebrities and kind of like public figures and influencers for the first wave of updates and things. And now, for a while it's been available. So you probably tested out, at least got on Facebook Live or experimenting with that. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff you can do with it, whether you're running live on your mobile app or, I even posted a link and I talked about ways that you can pre-record. You can have pre-recorded content and then you can live stream that. It's been working well for me. It's a cool way to repurpose content like beat videos or instrumental playlists, put those together and stream those live, even though it's pre-recorded, stream it live, but then interact with people in the comments, producers and artists. So technically you're not live like you're on camera, but you're live. You can be live in the comments to interact with your followers, and so that's a way if you want to take content, repurpose it. You might be putting out content throughout the month, and then I got a truck coming by or something. And then maybe at the end of the month, you do like a summary live stream, and that's like your content for the month or something like that. Maybe people missed it earlier in the month. You do a live stream on Facebook. You do the same thing with like Google. You can do the same thing streaming live on Google. So I'm gonna switch over to do a share screen. Let's see, give me 1 second. I posted a link to that in the GTS group. If you're not in GTS, you can probably Google it too. It's how to stream pre-recorded live if you're not sure how to do it. But I did post a blog post with like a full, breakdown of the software you need and how to do it. And I can show you kind of example of that on here. One thing that's new also is you'll notice like on your page when you write something, you'll notice this Mojicon. Now you've been able to include like emoticons, Facebook emoticons, like these icons here for a while, but usually what I would do is I would come to the site mojicons.com, and then you can copy and paste just some like extra animation. Just helps kind of spice things up. You'll see people use these on Instagram a lot or whatever, but these are specific ones that will work on Facebook. But recently, I don't know if they bought this company or if this is actually like a Facebook subsidiary. I'm assuming this company, I don't know. But anyway, mojicons.com, but they've now integrated it where if you click on or hover over this, it says Mojicons, and it gives you the ability just to add these directly here. So you'll see, I like to use these a lot. On any kind of post, you get, I believe, looks like 5 lines above the fold before you said see more. I know there's like a lot of links and stuff here. But there's a refresh, so it goes back. So you always want to be, and it's the same with like YouTube. I've mentioned this before too, is take advantage of anything above the fold. In YouTube, it's the first 3 lines. In Facebook, it's the first 5 lines. In Instagram, I think it's the first 3 lines. So whatever that means for you, but this is a perfect place to put, any kind of title that's relevant. I usually put links. Now, I will say that the downfall of putting a lot of external links is that it may decrease your initial engagement. So by me putting a bunch of links to my website, this is to my club membership, this is to my opt-in page, to my YouTube channel, this is actually to a YouTube video here. This may, it may be better, and Brian, you could probably talk on this too. A lot of times you'll see people, or you'll hear marketers that are seeing results in particular on Facebook, that will talk about post it without a link for a while until you build up some organic engagement, and then you can edit it and add the links later on. Now, I don't always do that because most of the time I'm going to be sponsoring my content anyway. So I know you can see here, I've got, this is my organic reach, this is my paid reach. I know pretty much any of my beat videos or any of my core content, I'm going to mostly be sponsoring to some extent. I'm going to be, remarketing to my existing email list, to people that are fans of my page. I have like probably 10 different custom audiences that I'm potentially retargeting when I'm sponsoring these. So that's why I like to just go ahead and do it, not all the time, but especially for this core content that I know I'm going to be sponsoring, I will just go ahead and put the links in there so everything's ready and formatted, and I know I'm going to go ahead and boost it basically anyway. But that's something to keep in mind if you want to get the most organic reach initially. I think the more links that you put, external links that are not Facebook links, the less it will perform. And I probably have an example to show that. So this, Brian, you can still see everything on my screen okay, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. So this is an example of where I did a pre-recorded stream. This was a compilation of my recent beat making videos. And like I said before, it's a great place. This one didn't get as much of engagement. It was kind of I had streamed the same thing the day before, so I did kind of like an encore stream. But it's a good place, like I said, just to people tune in live, and you can interact with people. I was going to show an example. You know, any kind of topical memes, as always, these things perform exceptionally well. Just posted yesterday, 94 shares, 245, you know, whatever. You can put whatever relevant links. Here's my opt-in page here, so that's generating leads. This was the initial. So this was the initial stream of that recording I showed a minute ago. So again, this is just a compilation of about 5, 6, 7 different beat making videos, but it's pretty decent engagement. Like a lot of these comments are me responding, but there's a lot of people in here tuning in. It's a good place just to talk to your fans. So memes, I was gonna show, so there's another beat video that I'm promoting. Like for instance, this right here. So this did okay, it didn't do that great, but so this is a form. I'd already posted this video. This was the video that I showed at the very top. It was posted, I think, a day before I posted this. Now, this is a piece of micro content. This is a snippet. This is like a 30-second snippet of a part of that beat video. So this is a way for me to repurpose that initial video and repost it the next day without burning people out. So all this says is adding guitar effects to this instrumental. Now watch the full video. I think this links to Facebook. So this links back internally to that full video within Facebook. So usually, depending on what time I post these, this was posted at 10 a.m. Usually the 8 a.m. Eastern work well for me during the weekdays because a lot of people are getting up and going to work, and that's a good time to get that initial engagement. And I believe there was one I posted before this that did a lot better. But either way, the point I'm making is, you know, linking back internally to Facebook, but also then repurposing, putting out micro content with bigger content that you've created. It's a way to remarket it. Maybe somebody hasn't seen it. They watch this 30-second snippet and then click on this and then watch the full video that maybe they didn't see the day before or whatever. So that's a way that you can extend the content. There was something else. What was it? Okay, the instrumental. So right here. So here, obviously, a lot of you producers are uploading your instrumentals. Hopefully, you're leveraging YouTube. You know, you're putting them on Instagram, like I showed before. You'll see like this snippet was here. Instagram obviously has a limitation of 60 seconds, I believe, and I think Twitter since has extended to 60 seconds, used to be 30 seconds. So basically this is just a shorter snippet of this full, let's see, where am I? This full instrumental, which this was uploaded on YouTube initially, and this is being sponsored as well. But what you'll notice is like, again, these kind of all look similar in the way they're formatted, and from time to time I switch them up, but questions are great. Questions, like, human psychology won't allow a human to, like, it's not to say you have to respond to it, but somebody who sees a question at the top in their feed, like, they'll at least consider it. So if somebody sees this and it's something that's intriguing to them and there's a question at the top, it's a way to kind of entice more engagement. So like I said, you'll kind of see that these are formatted similarly in terms of, here's a link to my site, here's a link to subscribe on YouTube, here's a link to my club membership. You know, an opt-in page could go right here easily as well. But what I would say is any kind of animation, like this is just subtle. This is just a basic audio spectrum, audio analyzer, whatever this is called. You can generate these in After Effects, and I'm sure there's some other software that can do something similar, but this makes things a little more interesting than just like an image. Now, I know some producers just put up images and they've seen results, like some channels that put out new instrumentals every day may not have a lot of crazy animation or whatever, and they still see results. But this is just kind of an extra add-on. If you want to spend a little extra time to get a little more engagement with your with your instrumentals when they're being uploaded to YouTube or Facebook. I would recommend you can do like little overlays. There's a lot of probably have some other examples in here as well. These are more just like live streams where I was able to, you know, talk to some people. And here's another example I'll just show real quickly. This was a client. This is the client that I mentioned earlier that I work with, and you'll see that her ad is formatted similarly. This is her music video that we uploaded directly to Facebook. You basically 4x'd her previous results in over a 9-month period in like less than a month so far. I started working with her late last month, but you can kind of see the engagement here: 482 shares and comments and whatever. So the point is that this stuff works if it's applied right. These are her links for iTunes and whatever. These type of calls to actions are great too, like, comment, and share. So you can kind of integrate those in with the thumbs up emoticon, and you can kind of experiment with that type of stuff. So that's just another example of that was kind of her testimonial to what I had helped her with. But yeah, any type of like like I said, memes, topical stuff, any other type of engagement. This is another instrumental. This was another example of like where I had already uploaded this beat. This was like a 50-second snippet. And see, I say full length beat here. So I think this links back to Facebook. So, ideally that will get you a lot more initial engagement because I'm not linking out of Facebook. I'm linking internally. So that's another strategy that you can apply.
I never even thought of doing that, to be honest with you. Like that's, I'm taking that. I'm writing that down right now. Of creating a snippet and then linking back into Facebook. I'm pretty sure that's probably have your engagement on like 50 right now. Yeah,
well, see, these aren't good examples because this, I don't know what time. So this was posted at 6 p.m., which usually at 6 p.m. time does well for me. But this, these initial likes aren't that great. But what I would have to say is that if somebody listens to this snippet and they want to listen to more, they're probably not going to click the like button on this. They're probably just going to click this link and go directly to the full-length track, and then they would probably more than likely engage on this, which you can see a lot more engagement on this. You can see, even people tagging other people and whatever. And I did sponsor this for a period of time, but that was kind of the core video or the core instrumental that I was promoting anyway. These are more pre-recorded live streams. And so you kind of get a sense at least how I'm executing on Facebook. And what I'll tell everybody, always respond to your comments.
Yep.
Unless it's like really stupid and people are making whatever, like respond to these people. It's also going to help stimulate more engagement for you because you're fueling the comment section. You can even ask questions to people that have already left a comment. You can kind of keep dialogue going back and forth. I'm trying to look at my notes and see if there were anything else. Is anything else that I had listed? Long form content, I don't do it too much, but you can also, Brian, I know you've seen results with doing long form content in, let me go back to off a screen share. I know you've seen results with like doing like longer Facebook posts where you can basically create like a blog post inside of Facebook or inside of Instagram. Some people might say, well, that's not going to perform that well, but you might be surprised because if you put it really, yeah, because like literally you get those first 5 lines of preview, and if you get something engaging, you can start a story, you can do anything, ask a question in the beginning, and if people take the time to expand that and read that whole thing, they're going to be 10 times more likely to comment and actually engage with that in some way. So, I mean, I know I don't do it much, but I know you've seen results from it.
Yeah, I do. I do a long post pretty much at least once a week. And when I do it, I kind of do it to get a rise out of someone. Like sometimes it'll be like pro artist, and sometimes it'll be like pro producer, and you'll see the engagement from whoever I'm targeting. Like if I say something and it's like about how I feel like artists aren't doing enough, all the producers on my page will comment, like, and same thing. And then an hour later, I'll do the exact opposite for artists. And you'll see, like, they'll all go flood that one talking about how producers do this and do that and do this. It's just, for me, it's just like to see, like, to get that engagement in, and just to see, like, okay, who's really working, who's not working. But it's just, for me, it's just for my enjoyment to see, like, this is what's working, this is what's not working. It's just kind of like that. It's like, but that's why I do it. But those long form posts, it just lets me get the idea out there, and I just let people run with it and comment and do whatever they want on that post. But it just creates that engagement.
And another way that you can repurpose that too, and like I said, I'm trying to maximize. For me, if I spend time creating whatever it is, an instrumental, a beat video, a tip video, like I want to find the way to maximize the reach on that. Obviously, distributing it on all the platforms, but being able to repurpose that. And if you create enough long form Facebook posts, you can always take that content and consolidate it into like a blog post. And it could be, if it's tips or it's like whatever, like you could create a 500,000 word article just off of your Facebook post that you've already created. It's not it wouldn't be any extra work for you to do that. So that's another option. If you find yourself on Facebook creating long form content, but you want to repurpose that and have that on your website later, or somebody can reference, you know, I'd recommend that if it makes sense. One other thing I wanted to mention, and then if we want to go on to Twitter, we can. Or I don't know how long. This video's been going on a long time. I don't know. It feels like it has. There's one other. Oh yeah, I want to mention captions. So, like, let me share screen again. And so, like in some of these beat videos, you'll see this caption, like this is a scent stab. So whatever. So like you'll see a lot of videos that are performing really well on Facebook. And I'm probably not the best example to use, but I was just trying to show you in the very beginning of this that there is some sort of text or caption here. These probably come in every, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, depending on, well, in this one I have a couple captions, which is good. So why that's important, whether it's a transcription of your videos or you have subtitles or whatever, is because you got to keep in mind, specifically on Facebook, and this applies to Instagram too, when the video auto starts, there's no audio. So people are only going on a visual basis, and you probably found yourself doing this too. From a consumer perspective, is you see videos that have captions or have something really interesting in the beginning, and then you get sucked in, and then that's when you click play. If something isn't interesting right in the beginning, unless it's something that you're anticipating or expecting, then a lot of times you'll ignore it, because how much new content is being published on all the platforms? It's like shit is being pumped out this quickly all the time. So there's always going to be something next time you get on, or next, 10 posts later in your feed. So to maximize that initial engagement, drawing people in and actually getting them to click the audio and turn the audio on, you can utilize captions. You can utilize captions if it's subtitling. If it's got lyrics in it, like in this case, in this video, it was just basically subtitling what instruments I'm playing in that recreation. But anything intriguing in that first 10 to 15 second window is going to help you. And what's really cool about when you do live streaming, it shows you how many people have watched, and it shows you like the percentage of people that have watched an extended period, like a considerable amount of time. I don't remember exactly what the statistics say, but it's like, it'll show you how many people have watched 10 seconds of your video, how many have watched longer than that. But it will also show you if they watched it with the sound on or with the sound off. It shows you that information independently. So you can actually see, because that will be a factor in determining how engaging is this. If they didn't click the audio, they could sit there and watch a silent video for a minute, but is that real? Are they really engaged in that a lot? I mean, might be a little bit, but if it's a music video or an instrumental or something, it probably means that they weren't that engaged. So that was a cool, I don't know if you have that information on a regular upload. I haven't checked those analytics for a while, but I know in particular, when you run a live video, it gives you that data independently. It says sound on or sound off, and it gives you a percentage based on if they've clicked the audio on. So that's a good insight to have. But I said those captions or anything engaging in the beginning will help them become more engaged, obviously.
All right, we want to just run through Twitter real quick.
Yep.
Oh, well, I know for Twitter, for both of us, Twitter video is I actually learned this from T Customs, just using Twitter video and engaging people as soon as they follow me. That has helped me get so much more engagement across the board. If an artist follows me and I send them a quick message saying thanks for following me, and I can ask them a question like, yo, send me a link to your music, that opens up the dialogue for me to just start working with them on anything, because I'm initiating that engagement. And Twitter video helped me 10 times more than inboxing anybody. Like I don't inbox anybody on Twitter at this point. I haven't done it for so long. And it's like, because I don't have to, because I know if somebody follows me and I can shoot that quick 10-second video, it's going to create that engagement right off the bat.
Here's something else while we're talking about Twitter, and this is kind of a strategy, but it's not something like it's not like a posting strategy or something directly on the platform. And I don't remember who I saw somebody do this, and I thought it was really cool, is you can set up an embed like for your website. If you want to embed, you probably know this, a lot of you guys have like Twitter feeds on your website, but one thing you can do is you can filter based on favorites, and you can use that almost as like a testimonial, or you can favorite certain things that you want to highlight on your website. So for instance, if I do a screen share again, at the bottom of this, so it's got my beat store, it's got, some credits and whatever, but here's a testimonials and Twitter conversations. So this is just like certain kind of, extra, if somebody's scrolling down, then they can see, people are interested in beats. Somebody just bought one of the box kits, interaction with certain producers. This is a testimonial from the artist that I had showed you the campaign from before. So like, this is a cool way to highlight, if you want to highlight certain conversations, or things that you're doing on Twitter. That was just something I was thinking about that I just started recently doing on the site. So that's kind of a tip if you like that idea.
Another thing for me is I look at Twitter, because you only got 140 characters, you got to engage people right from the jump. And I know for us, since we run blogs and we do a lot of blogging, and even if you don't have a blog, if you're trying to get somebody back to your site to see something or some type of content that you created, I look at it like when you're at the grocery store and you see like the National Enquirer, and you just kind of look to the side, you see some like bugged out like headline. That's kind of how I look at Twitter. Like that's but a crazy headline to catch somebody's attention to say, oh, I want to click that link to see what else is on the other side. A lot of times people, or even producers or people that I do consultation with, they don't know how to create those types of headlines. And I go to this site. Let me share my screen real quick. I go to this site right here. It's zergnet.com, and I will take like one of these headlines and kind of flip it. Like it could be anything. It could be like this: everything Orange is the New Black gets wrong about prison. But that could be everything V Chris Beats got wrong about posting on Twitter. Like you can flip any of these titles, any of these headlines into something that's going to get somebody to click. 9 ways to get artists, or 9 ways to get fans to hear your music on Facebook around the world. If you're an artist and you see that, you're going to say, well, what are the 9 ways? They're going to click that link just because they want to know how to get their music heard around the world. You kind of like, that's the type of things that like I look at when I'm like, if I want to create content that's going to get an artist, I'll look at the headline first and create my content based around what I come off of what that headline is. As opposed to me coming up with content first, I'll just get the headline and make the content around that headline. Because I know if I seen that, I would click on it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if an artist will see that, they click on it. And that's kind of how I would create my content.
And that's where for those of you who are GTS, you have access to a lot of documents, like we have Power Word documents and stuff, and it's you can model off of what's there, but we also have lists of like different marketers that put together PDFs that have like really great, and it's like you don't want to be clickbaity about it. You want to do it in such a way where it's ethical, like you're not promising a headline and they click and it's something totally unrelated. Like you want to make sure that you're tying it in and it's actually what you're talking about, but you got to be creative. You got to find triggers in people to get them engaged in what you're doing. And if it means using a different word, it could just be as simple as like you, instead of using great, using like what would be like another power word, like amazing. Instead of using great, like use the word amazing instead, because that has more of an impact on somebody. So just like those simple replacements of words and like either modeling existing lists or we have a lot of documents. We've talked about it before, but we have, I know, at least 2 resources that talk about that. But it might take you a little extra time to get that crafted, but it's going to make up in the results that you get from it, whether it's linking to your opt-in page or getting them to go. But like I said, I would be careful. You want to be a marketer, but you don't want to do it in such a way that you're falsely getting people to click on something. You know what I mean? Like promise on what you say, or deliver on what you're promising there. So that's the main thing.
Oh, another thing I don't know if I said this before, but on Instagram and on Twitter, if you're gonna post photos, brand your photos. Like if you got a meme up, put your brand somewhere on that meme or on a photo that you're gonna post. Just because if somebody snatches it and wants to take it, they're at least gonna share it, and they're gonna share your brand at the same time.
Yep.
So put your website somewhere on that photo, just so if they share it, you get shared along with that content.
Yep, exactly. So I can do a share screen real quick and just. Twitter's a funny place because it's a fire hose and it's tough. It's tough. I mean, some people might see better results on Twitter than others. It's for me, Facebook and YouTube are my 2 core platforms. I still do make sure that I'm updating somewhat regularly. I posted this yesterday. So usually kind of similar posting that I do on Instagram. Try to get there about at least 1 or 2 times a day if possible. So these are just retweets. So uploading directly here. Let me give you an example of. So this is like an actual video snippet that I uploaded directly to Twitter. Again, the benefit to this is that instead of just posting the YouTube link, is that you get the auto start and it's going to have a little more weight. So this is how I usually will post. I'll post a snippet internally in Twitter. I'll just put a little headline, whatever, and I'll put a link to the full video. And you could that could just easily be a link to your opt-in page to download. Here's another one where I took another clip from the same video where I'm playing keys. I used a different emoticon here, a play button, watch the full beat making video. This one did a little bit, had a couple retweets, couple favorites. But like I said, for me, Twitter's tough. Here was another one. It did okay just based on engagement. Another thing you can do, more instrumental snippets, using more emoticons, use the question mark emoticon. The red is going to kind of stand out a little bit more. Put a link to the full instrumental if somebody wants to download it. This could be a link to your website directly. I just went to YouTube because it's going to be more mobile friendly to open up, and there's going to be links in the YouTube comment or in the YouTube description anyway. What are they called? There will be links to annotations or whatever on the video for them to click on the YouTube video anyway. So more snippets of stuff. Using select hashtags, depending. I mean, obviously Twitter is weird. It's a little more difficult with this because you get 140 character limit. Instagram doesn't have any limitations like that. So it's easier for you just to do the tons of hashtags at the bottom or whatever. But that's
I know for Twitter, I get more engagement. I've actually gotten I've gotten sales and got to be able to connect with artists through Twitter way more easy than any other platform. Because I don't know, because I engage with artists, I talk to artists all the time on Twitter, and even with like mid-major artists, I'll message them like, it's always when somebody's leaving the club at like 3, 4 in the morning, and they'll post something. If I engage them at that time, I tend to always either get an email address or some way to connect with them at that time. I will say this though, if you want to engage with like artists that have a established name and you want to start to grow your fan or grow your client base with those types of artists that have that cash to spend, you have to do your research and start to research like who their management is or who the person who's handling their business is, and start to interact with them as opposed to dealing with that artist in particular, because they handle the money, they handle the business side of it, and they have other artists that they work with that may not be on the level of the artist that you're trying to get to, but you need a way in. And if your way in is to work with the lower level artists, it can get you to working with the bigger name artists that you want. There's been 3 or 4 times in the last year that I've worked with somebody, I've contacted their manager, but I did my research and seen that they work with other artists and said, well, let me work with this artist first. And I'll ask them to work with the lower level artists because they automatically think that you want to work with the big name. But if you work with the lower level artists, they'll work with you, you'll get paid, and you'll sell those exclusives, and it'll get you in that circle, because all you want to do is get in the door. But you don't have to always go straight for, if you're trying to work with Slim Thug, don't go run at Slim Thug. Don't go run at Rick Ross, because you're never going to get in that way. But if you go talk to their management and say, hey, I know you work with so-and-so and so-and-so, I heard, that's your lower level artist or whatever. You don't say that, but one of your artists is so-and-so. I really want to send some tracks to that artist. Get in on that level, and and just work the angle, and you'll start to get those other placements, those bigger placements, just because you started from the artist that they're not really promoting themselves that well. So it's like, just find your way in and work your way around to get into those bigger name artists. And it doesn't take long. All you need is 3 or 4 tracks with one artist, and they'll start to plug you to other people that they're working with, and you'll start to get that client base and those credits up to start making some money. And you leverage those artists to sell beats to artists that are on your online page.
Yep. Any kind of resume, anything you have on your resume, any kind of credits, that's all going to help.
It's all going to help you get to that, to whatever level you're trying to get to. But that's all I got, man.
Yeah, that's all I got. We covered Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Hopefully you got some new stuff you can apply. Hopefully you've been applying a lot of the stuff already, but if not, hopefully you got some notes you can take, and at least stuff that's working for us. I can't speak for anybody else. I can just speak for what I'm doing.
Like a lot of things, like I know for me and T Custom, we don't like to preach theory. Like, this is what we're doing right now. It's not something that like I read in a book. This is something that I may have seen on a webinar, and then I applied it to my business, and it worked for me. And that's kind of how we like to show you how to do it. I can't teach you something that I haven't done, and I wouldn't even feel right teaching you something that I wasn't already having success with. So these are the strategies that we're using. Take them, apply them to your business. Let us know what kind of results you're getting. So if you're friends with me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, hit me up on Facebook. Let me know if it worked for you.
You can hit me up at T Customs. That's in that handle should be in my tag. Is that tag showing to you, Brian?
Yes. Yep.
So you can hit me up there. You can hit Brian up on his social media. Let us know.
That's about it, man. Talk about y'all later. GTS Movement. Peace.
Peace.